Welcome
My
to.
name is Carol Baskins. We're here to bring you another episode of Tag Alive.
Hey, you cool cats and kittens. No, welcome to episode 5, which we're calling It's Turbo Time of the N Chipz podcast. I hope you guys can eventually catch the little Easter egg on the running titles and figure out what's going on. It has nothing to do with the episode. Just thought we could have a little fun. I wonder how long
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be able to do this till we run out. But with that, I am one of the two hosts, Fred, and to my side, my co-host and familiar brother from another mother.
I am El Senor Kendo.
And
What's going on, everybody?
together we do this and Chips podcast. And this is our fifth episode. I'm kind of proud of us. Normally
A
we
little late and a little behind, but schedules, work, and
Yeah,
everything.
schedules have changed. We normally would do these on Tuesdays and put them out, but I think we're going to be switching these to the weekend. We're figuring out whether it's a Friday or Saturday night, and we're trying to figure out the new hour. 9 o'clock might be a little late for some people. We don't know. We'll see if we'll switch it up. But for now, this was the time we could get this one out and do it. And
Yep.
to anybody who's watching us, we always appreciate the views and the follows and stuff like that. So uh, with that, let's get on with our little show. Kendall, anything new that's been going on in life? What's up with you, man?
Not much. Finished playing FF7.
Mm-hmm.
Finished Persona 5 Royal.
Okay.
Picked up the second game of Xenosaga, so I can get working on that from PS2 days.
You're gonna stream that?
Don't know if I'm gonna stream it or not. But still working on the RE3 speed runs,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you were doing that. Just so you guys, if you guys don't know, our boy over here, Kendall, he streams to his Twitch. He does different video games, RPGs, uh, speed runs on certain games. Sometimes on occasion, uh, you can catch him playing Cold Steel series here and there. Kendall, think about your Twitch channel so people know, because my man is an
Alright.
affiliate, and he needs to make some cash money.
So basically, I just do a bunch of different games. Usually all games that I love playing and everything. Some of them are RPGs, some of them are action games. I go from like Persona or Resident Evil series or Trails of Cold Steel or Final Fantasy, stuff like that. I pretty much just play whatever I feel like at the time and what's new and fun and interesting, stuff like that.
Yep. So what's your Twitch channel?
Esper6476.
Yeah, hit him up. He does some cool stuff. Well, uh, I have been working, dealing with work and other stuff, and less people and more people in a weird way. But other than that, just quarantining at home like everybody else. We just chill here and stay at home and do our little thing. So this podcast is a nice way to talk to other people other than the homies when we're playing PlayStation, because that's what we're doing, playing a lot of PlayStation. So with that, Kendall, you got any good news? Any cool news? Anything exciting coming out right now?
Sadly, one of the things that was supposed to be, coming out later this month, finally able to purchase was the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II, but that is being pushed back later to probably June
Ooh,
by the looks of things.
is it because
Or
of
maybe you can start pre-ordering sometime late May.
lack of like people going out or lack of supply to make it?
By the looks of it, it's because of the whole coronavirus situation and everyone, production's getting hit all across the board,
Oh yeah,
everywhere, across everything. So
that's true. It's always becoming an issue more and more now lately about stuff that want to come out. What is coming out though that seems like it's coming out on time is the Apple SE. Uh, One of the cheaper Apple products, I want to say that.
oh yeah, definitely on
most
the
people can
cheaper
afford.
low end.
I mean, it's $399. It seems like a solid phone. I'll be honest, it seems like a solid offering from Apple. Uh, you can go as high as 256 gigs on this phone. That's a lot on
Hmm.
an SE. Uh, it's a what 4.7 inch. What do we say? 4.7 inch screen.
Yep, 4.7 inch screen.
Uh, 12 megapixel wide camera lens. I think it's like 1800 milliamp battery on it. It runs, I believe, the 11 Pro processor, and I mean, it's a solid buy for $399. It's a solid buy for Apple. I'm actually surprised that Apple doesn't do more of this stuff. More, not that they have to. Obviously, they're gonna put out what they're gonna put out. People are gonna buy it. But I'm just
Yeah,
surprised that they don't have more often than I think it's been like 3 or 4 years since the last SE came out.
has
Before
it
they
been
got,
that long?
I think it's been a while. They don't drop these that often, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that they have to have one every year, but I'm surprised they
Yeah,
don't drop one every sooner, maybe every 2 years or something. Because this is a nice entryway for a lot of people to get in. I mean,
yeah, true.
iPhones are really expensive, and I mean, whether we want to justify whether it's good or bad that they are that price, they are the price. They're flagship smartphones. We know flagship smartphones nowadays are almost like $1,000 plus
Yeah,
nowadays. And that's the thing, not everybody can afford $1,000 phone, especially every year. That's one of those things. Like they're starting to get ridiculous. But at a $399 price range, I could see a lot of people, time to upgrade. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, geez,
It's one of those things. It's a nice one, but
yeah. I'm actually kind of shocked at the cheap price for that.
it
As
it
especially considering it's an Apple product.
it's yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, look at the MacBook Airs, iPad Pros, all this stuff. I mean, it's way. I mean, hell, the headphones are probably more expensive than this phone right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's good on them. It's something affordable for the people. I think more companies should still have nice, maybe older specs. Like a year or two older. Put it
Yeah.
into a nicer shell of a phone, sold cheaper for people. I don't see why not. I don't see how you wouldn't make money. But with things that aren't coming out and things that aren't happening right now because of this pandemic that we're all facing, San Diego Comic Con isn't happening this year, and these are things that like I get kind of sad. I missed out on WonderCon this year,
Yeah.
and now San Diego Comic Con is canceled.
Yep, and sadly, it doesn't stop there, just there either, because
Mm-mm.
also Anime Expo is canceled this year and is getting
Yup,
pushed back to
yup.
2021.
Yeah, they're both getting pushed back to 2021. San Diego Comic Con is the first time in 50 years, I think, is what they've been doing it for, or something I heard.
Mm-hmm.
That it actually got pushed back. I don't know if it's 50 years, but it's the first time in their um, convention life that they've actually been skipped a whole year.
Yep.
I know San Diego Comic Con is the same company that runs WonderCon, and they had to skip that one. It was earlier, I think in March, when it was supposed to happen. I had bought tickets to that, and then I got my money refunded because they weren't going to have it. And now
Yeah.
you got Anime Expo not happening in San Diego Comic Con. They're from what I heard, their tickets are just being rolled over to next year, so you don't have to buy tickets again.
Ah, well, at least, there's that. But then again,
Yeah.
it's like
What
for
if
the
you
people
want
that are flying in or
Yes,
whatever,
yes.
or, traveling and have
Yeah.
travel arrangements or whatever, they have
From
to,
yeah,
redo all those, like flights and
exactly.
hotels and
From
everything.
from what I've heard, Anime Expo is doing is they're gonna have to give people the option of either getting a refund or rolling their tickets over. Which I kind of like that, because
Yeah.
right now times are tough. Some people might want that money back because I know
Yeah,
if
true.
if you get them, I know if you get the Anime Expo tickets early on, they're not that expensive. But as time goes on, they start to become like $100 or more. And I could see you be like, hey, $100 back in my pocket right now is better than not. So I mean, I
Yeah.
like what they're doing, and that's cool. It's a sad day. I know we've got tickets to what is it? The Star Wars. What is it? The Star Wars Experience? Is that what it's called?
Star Wars Experience.
Or what is it
Is that
called?
the VR one?
No, no, no. What's that? What's the Star Wars? Oh, Star Wars Celebration. I don't experience. My bad. Star
Oh
Wars
yeah.
Celebration. There we go. That's what. And I think that's this year, and we'll see what happens with that. Because I know we got tickets to that. That's later on in the year, but depending on what happens, who knows? Maybe they will let us go to it. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Times are tough, but
Mm-hmm.
though it's sad to see it, but it's better for everybody just to stay healthy and stay better because It just takes one person to come out and get everybody sick. So,
Yep, all it takes is one.
and talk about taking one. Did you hear the rumor about the Switch?
Yes, I did. I believe you are referencing the supposed leak that there's going to be a Switch DS.
Yes, something like that.
Switch with the dual screen on it.
Okay. How do you feel about that? I mean, and I know it's a rumor, but like, how do you feel about that whole Switch thing happening like that?
I mean, I don't know how it would it would work.
Okay, because like the Switch itself, when it came out and what it was still is, because I just have the first, I guess you could say, first generation of it. Because I know they had that refresh with a more extended battery and stuff like that. But I got the very first Switch that came out, right?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I think that is what you want from the Switch, right? Not, and I'm not saying like that's what you want from a handheld, right?
Yeah.
I can dock it at home because that's how I want to play it most of the time. Sometimes I do like to go, when right before bed or something, and take it with me and play with it, handheld.
Yeah.
When I'm out and about and I'm bored and I'm like, I think I might, have a little downtime or something. I'm waiting. You're traveling. Maybe you're on a bus. Maybe you're a passenger, where you can do that. That's why I would take it handheld, and I enjoy it that way, right? But like I said, I enjoy it docked. I could see you say, hey, we're gonna update it. Maybe update the internals or to run a little better. Maybe going from 1080 docked to, I mean, from 720 docked to like 1080 docked. Maybe a 4K docked. I don't know. I'm just saying I could see something like that. Uh, because you already had this Switch Lite come out,
Mm-hmm.
which was basically it literally got rid of you having the need to, uh, having the need.
It's pretty much like the Ultimate Switch handheld version. You don't need a docket.
It
You
lasts
know,
forever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, but to hear this now, I'm not saying that they can't sell me on the two screens or that you might not get excited or something of that nature. But just I don't know, man. In my head, I'm picturing like you ever know the Samsung Galaxy Fold or those foldable phones now.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm picturing that I'm gonna have a Switch that folds out like that and gives me
I
like
mean,
two
it's
damn screens.
possible.
Because other than that, it's like, why would I need? Because it's like the DS,
Yeah.
like you said, it would be like a DS. I'm assuming in my head that I would have to flip it. Because how are you going to put two screens unless you're going to make the screen smaller? But then what the hell's the point? Like, I don't want a small screen when I'm used to a big screen on the DS, right?
Yeah.
So either you're going to have it flip out or do something like that. But like, do I want a DS? I mean, I think the Switch is cool the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would prefer if they would make just a more powerful handheld version of the Switch instead of, adding to like a second screen
Right,
kind of
right,
thing.
right.
Um,
I would like the more powerful Switch, mind you. Don't get rid of the Joy Cons I already own, right?
yeah, that too.
That's the one thing. Like, make it more powerful, but allow me to still use my Joy Cons. Because I'll be real, I don't want to buy more than what I already own. I don't want to have to buy a whole new set again if I already have them. Because I would be willing to upgrade that shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get rid of the old Switch. I'll still use it, but it would be nice to upgrade it and then still be able to use my Joy Cons on the new one. That'd be awesome. I mean, even if you come out with a newfangled Joy-Con that does whatever, you know how it is. It is new ray tracing on the Joy-Con. I don't know, whatever.
Ray tracing Joy-Cons.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That would be funny. Like each Joy-Con has like a mini LED screen on
Yeah,
it or whatever.
or new vibrations or new shocks. You know what I mean. Like they always try to make it. I always feel like they always try to make the controller. Obviously, there's newer tech, there's newer stuff, there's all that makes sense. But sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like they just try to add a new bell and whistle just to basically be like, and this is why we're selling you a new control, which I'm
Yeah.
okay with. Whatever. I get it. A new system comes with a new control, but like I said, if you can still give me the options of using the old remotes, I'll use a new remote. But why do I have to buy extra remotes when it's only whenever a buddy or somebody comes over that you're going to play maybe a Switch game docked,
Yeah.
with them on a big screen TV. I would just want to use my old remotes. But the dual screen, who knows? I know it's a rumor right now, but still, I know there's been a lot of rumors for a while coming out about a more powerful Switch is going to come out. There was going to be a different Switch, this and that, and then we got the Switch Lite. So who knows? Maybe there's some truth to this dual screen Switch. I don't
Who
know.
knows? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm super excited with that. I think I'd be more excited for a more powerful Switch. But with that, Kendall, have you heard a little bit of the of what they're talking about the pricing changes on the PlayStation 5?
Yep, I have. And
Now,
it's quite an interesting debacle that we seem to have found Sony in at this point.
right? Okay, so let's start with we'll just start with the price right now before we go into anything else. Now, from what I've been hearing and people have been saying, and I think it came out like with IGN or somebody else, or they've been saying the price is going to be anywhere between $499, which is pretty much $500,
Mm-hmm.
to $550.
Yep.
Now, do you know why that there's such a fluctuation in price? Because it's only like $50 price fluctuation, which to me that's a little weird. You know,
Um,
you would think it'd be more of a price hike of like $100 or $200 because you'd have like maybe a PS5 and a PS5 Pro, but like a $50 change that seems like some. You think some of the stuff's more expensive now?
from some of the stuff I've seen and read about,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly there's the whole limited run that they're planning on doing. They're not
Oh
going to make
yeah, I
as
heard
many
about
of
that.
they're not going to make as many units as
Yeah,
they did the first time when the PS4 launched, and also supposedly they're investing a lot more into the cooling solution this time,
yeah.
so
I
that
have been
way
hearing about the cooling.
to prevent overheating issues. And so that's costing them a little more, like somewhere around, $450, $460 in order for them just to manufacture
Mm-hmm.
one console.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. A lot of the time, I hear that the companies lose money on the consoles, but they get their money back on you buying games. When
Yeah.
they make the refresh on the console, they start making more money back on that. You know, it seems like the console game is a long game. That's how they make their
Yeah,
money
it is.
back in the long game. If it's a short game, these consoles would be way more expensive, but because they sell them over so many years and they sell so many units, they make their money back that way. And then with games, and then with a Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus or things like that, like there's different ways they try to get the revenue back. But I mean, I guess that makes sense. I did hear a rumor about the heating being an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I heard that that's why some of the rumors came up that they might not even release the PS5 this year. That it was going to be released like sometime next year because they were trying to fix some cooling issues or that they were having problems with that. And
Yeah, but
I'll be honest. I don't know. Cooling issues would be a problem. You remember which one was it? Was it the Xbox 360 that had cooling issues?
oh, the last generation prior to this one,
Yeah,
as in like PS3, Xbox 360,
yeah,
had a lot of like heating issues.
yeah,
The PS3 had the yellow light of death, but there
yeah,
wasn't as much of an install base, so not a lot of people were having
yeah.
that
And
issue.
then Xbox had
But
the red ring
everyone
of
was talking
death.
about like the red ring of death and all that
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah, it seemed like the consoles were plagued with like heating issues on that cycle, and I wonder if them trying to beef up their specs on their system this time around that's why that's why you're seeing some issues with the PlayStation having some heating problems again.
Yeah.
It's always a thing you're trying to cram a lot of stuff into a small package, or as small as you can get this package,
Yeah.
and that's always going to be an issue. What I've always wondered, how come they don't water cool these things?
Well, that's what they did with the one our Xbox One X. Well, it's not really like water cooling solution, but
Oh.
it's like a variation of it. It's a vapor chamber.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. Kind of like what they do with the with laptops sometimes or things like that. Maybe a tablet or
Yeah.
something where you have like it's almost like builds up condensation inside like the copper tubing or something, or the copper parts, and then it
Mm-hmm.
just kind of cools itself that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well, no.
and I believe that's also the solution that they're also using with the PS5
Oh,
this
okay.
time around. So
Well, no, because I was gonna say like maybe like a small like what AIO, like a small kind of all-in-one kind of solution where you don't really have to like mess with the water cooling, but maybe it cools it down better. Because I mean, PCs have been doing stuff like that for a while. You know, different types of water cooling solutions, and they keep
Yeah.
themselves real cool. I mean, and it keeps it quiet sometimes too. So you know, what about a little custom kind of? Obviously, you know, it's already coming out with whatever it has, but I'm surprised that consoles haven't gone that route of something kind of custom, where it's sealed, where you don't have to worry about it. Obviously, it might change the longevity of the system because you know eventually they got to go bad, right?
Yeah, eventually they do go bad. Because based on experience with using all-in-one closed loop systems
Mm-hmm.
on like for computers
Yeah.
or whatever, they'll last a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
before you pretty much have to switch them out
Hmm.
because well, it's like that's
Like
just
yeah,
how
it's
they're
just like
built or
anything.
whatever. Eventually, like
The
the
hoses and
liquid
stuff.
inside of the system, inside of the loops or whatever, needs to be changed, and but closed loops you can't really do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So every couple of years, people would have to be sending it in, so that way they can get replaced and all this other stuff, and that's just more of a hassle.
No, that's true.
That and those cooling systems aren't exactly cheap either. So
That's true. That's true. I don't know. Maybe it was just hopes and dreams to make it run even faster than it is. But I don't know. The limited run is a thing that's kind of got me worried. You know
yeah,
how much is a limited run? Is it enough for some of us that really want to get it at the whatever price range it is to get it, or is it going to be one of those things that we're scrambling to find it? And then it'd be nice to know how long it's going to be before they are up and running with PlayStations again. You know, are we going to be waiting 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months? You know, 6 months?
well, supposedly their goal at the moment is to ship anywhere between like 4 to 6 million units
No, that's a good amount.
in the first like couple months.
Okay. Well, that's a good amount of them. And then, have they talked about when they're going to have their pre-orders open and stuff like that?
No, still nothing on the release date.
And I've been wondering that because nobody's talked about it yet exactly. Obviously, I hear like maybe holiday season,
Yeah.
and that's what everybody's saying. But I'm wondering when the pre-orders come out because I like to know. I like to pre-order one for myself before they get all the pre-orders get
Oh
sold
yeah.
out.
I've been saving all of my Best Buy rewards cards and points and all that
For
other
this,
shit, for when it finally comes up. So that
oh,
way I can just drop one, get it.
oh no lie, I'm pre-ordering. I'm gonna get my shit through Target. I got one of those Target red cards. Let me tell you guys, 5% off. All right, straight up off it. And then if I'm a Target shopper, not like I'm a loyalist to anybody, but if you do it right and you go buy a few things, sometimes you'll get gift cards for like $5 or $10. Save a couple of those bad boys, get the 5% off. Boom, there you go. You know, get yourself a cheaper PlayStation.
That's why I kind of wish that Best Buy still had their gamers program because if they
I
still
know
had
they
their
got rid
gamers
of it.
program, the 20% off of like brand
Yes,
new video games.
yes.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was the last game I was able to get with that program, and I got the deluxe edition for same price as base edition. So I got a deluxe edition for
Now,
$60.
in the deluxe edition, here's the thing that I got an issue with. So with the deluxe edition, you got two characters, right? Two materia for two characters for the summons. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you got that chocobo and you got the cactus dude, right?
Yep.
But you don't get that carbuncle thing, right?
No.
No, you only get that on the digital deluxe. What the fuck? All right, can I say that?
Yep. Go for it. I mean, I'm
No, I mean like what the hell is that about? Like just so you
trying to milk more money.
yeah,
That's all it is.
and then I went and looked it up, and if I really want to get that little bad boy, $20 to upgrade my shit to a digital bullshit to just get him on the
Yeah.
PlayStation because I looked it up because I thought I'm like, well, you know, maybe I can get a download code from somebody for cheap. You know?
No.
No, they want like $50. I was looking on eBay. Not saying that it is what it is. I'm not blaming anybody for selling whatever they're going to sell. Everything has a price. Everybody can pay their price. I'm just saying I looked it up. I didn't like the price, so I looked up the PlayStation, and the PlayStation told me that for $20 more, which is way cheaper than that, but still $20 on top of what I paid. I'm going to pay $100 for this thing. You know the theory for a summon. I don't know. I'm kind of a completionist sometimes, not all the time, but I'm kind of like, well, shit. You know what do I do now?
Hey, at least it's not as bad as like what Digimon Cyber Sleuth did.
What did Digimon Cyber Sleuth do?
If you didn't pre-order the game, you couldn't platinum it.
Yo, is that why?
Yep,
I play
because
that. I play that game.
there was two Digimon that you could only get if you
Yes,
pre-ordered it, which was Metal Garurumon and War Greymon, and
no,
you
no,
could
no,
not.
and it wasn't just them. It was like there were black versions of them.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, I
And
know what you're talking about.
you couldn't get those unless if you pre-order the game, and you needed those to collect all the Digimon trophies, or for the trophy to have all the Digimon, which is the only one I was missing. And then I looked it up because I couldn't figure out like how to get them or where to get them or whatever. And everyone's all like, "Oh no, you had to pre-order the game." And I'm like, "Well, fuck this shit."
That's mad scandalous. You think they changed it so we can just download it so we can get those characters now, like where you can buy them?
I don't know. I haven't checked it. This shit was like years ago.
I know.
Never looked back. So I'm like, you know what?
With that sad Hulk music as you were walking away from it. Dun, 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 dun. I know.
So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Never bought another Cyber Sleuth game after that. I'll tell you that much.
Really?
Really? I haven't played any of the other ones at all.
You know they're coming out, I think, for the Switch with both games in one package, though.
Oh yeah, are they?
I mean, it might be time.
Passing.
It might be what?
Passing.
Oh shit! I thought it was like, yo, it might be time.
Nah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fuck that shit.
Okay, well, fuck it. Fuck it.
I mean, you want to pull some shady shit like that where I literally have to pre-order your game in order to 100% that? No, I'm good.
Oh shit!
I don't need your games. As much as I enjoyed it and as fun as it was, I don't need it.
You like to play games. You don't like to be played as a game. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck. All right. Well, with playing games, Persona 5 Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Could you beat the whole game?
Yep, beating the whole thing. Took me 126 hours total playtime from start to finish, including the new semester.
Did you play
and the new palace? I haven't platinumed it yet. I'm 95% done.
Fuck. Okay, so you went through the whole thing. All right.
Yeah, I went through the whole thing.
Okay. Now I had heard that they said there was a lot of new stuff, a lot of stuff that got changed.
Mm-hmm.
Your experience, is that true?
Yes. Totally worth it. Even if you already played the first one before, totally worth it. If you haven't played it, might as well just skip the first one because this one's a much better version of it.
Okay, is it easier to get your your monsters or your
personas?
There you go. Thank you. Oh, goddamn.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it depends. What do you mean by easier exactly?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like ease of use, I guess, with the personas or something. Did they change any of those mechanics or things like that on how you?
Oh, well, some
moves or things.
Like a couple of the mechanics that changed is some personas have different moves. But the main thing that changed is personas have these things called traits now.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever played any of the Pokemon games, you know how like Pokemon comes with like extra traits or whatever that say like, hey, you know, if this person does.
Yeah, like water beats fire.
No, not like that.
Oh,
but if
like if
when
you cause
Pokemon first gets sent into the battle and they have like a trait, you know, the intimidate trait or whatever.
Oh yes.
And then, you know, it'll lower the attack of the Pokemon.
Right.
You know, that's their trait, their special ability, whatever, blah blah blah. Well, personas have that now, and there's a variety. Like it will reduce the cost of like ice spells or reduce the cost of, you know, skills that cost HP. You know. And other stuff like that, or like maybe it'll boost the chance of a status ailment, you know, from your party or anything like that. And so it adds another degree of like choice because all of your party members' personas, even though they're static and you can't change those out, they all have their own traits. Okay. Like one, you know, there's a chance to, you know, it'll boost up a physical move, or there's another one where it'll increase the chance of burn, freeze, or shock, or reduce the cost of a magic spell, or increase the amount healed from a magic spell. So there's a lot of different other stuff to play with. And when you fuse personas, you can also choose to either keep the persona that, you know, the persona you're fusing is supposed to receive originally, or experiment a little bit and like take the trait that one of the personas you're using to fuse with another one, you can keep that trait and put it on the new persona.
Okay. So you can, like, let's say you really like the intimidation part of it, you can just move that over to the next one.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Have you used a lot of that or no?
Oh yeah, I have found quite a lot of different combinations. One of them is actually called Will of the Sword, and
Mm-hmm.
it actually came from a magician persona, which triples the effect of charge and concentrate abilities. And charge and concentrate both increase the damage of the next physical or magical skill
Yeah.
by 2.5 times. So tripling that be 7.5 times normal damage. And then I have another persona which could basically cast that ability on everyone in the party.
Shit.
So I was able to do about 6,000 damage with one person in one turn, when normally it's like maybe 600.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. God damn. All right. I mean, that
There's a
works.
lot of fun combinations to experiment
Now,
with this
I
time
know
around.
there was a new character of that chick, right?
Hmm.
Was that somebody that you could play as, or was
You
it?
you play with her very intermittently in like the base game,
Uh huh.
the original game, where the original story up until they add the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You play with her once at one point for a short bit or whatever, which is where she awakens to her persona and blah 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 and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then after that, she's just kind of more like a background character where you can interact with her in your free time and stuff like that. But it's not until like you get to after that main story where like
Mm-hmm.
Persona 5 originally ended, do you actually get to do actually use her, and
Okay.
she actually joins you in your group.
Oh, okay. So, does the story differ? I guess is the main story pretty much the same, or did it differ a lot in this game to the other one?
Nope. Main story is still pretty much the
Okay.
same. There's a couple new events or whatever, because there's two new confidants. One of them being Kasumi, which is the new chick, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's a counselor that ends up coming into school, and he's another one. And there's events that happen in the middle of the game that change, where they come and talk to you, or you hang out with them, and blah blah blah. You do this, you do that with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it changes some of the stuff intermittently, but
Okay.
not to like a huge extent. I mean, I think it took me about 80 hours to get through the normal base game this time,
God
as opposed to
damn.
before where it was like, I think the first time on Persona 5 was like 60,
Mm.
70 for me. So slightly different.
Okay, that's still
Still a good chunk of time.
oh yeah, still good
Yeah.
chunk of time. Now that you finished it, it's all said and done. You're 95% done with this game. Uh, Replayability of this game. What do you think?
I'm already doing another playthrough right now.
Okay. So it's all said and done. Highly recommended game to play.
Extremely.
All right. All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. Probably not first, but you heard it here from us for the first time. Bam. Or maybe second. He says highly recommended game. You should all check it out. If you've already like you said, you already played Persona.
Especially in times of the quarantine, you have plenty of time to just sit back,
Yes,
relax,
you do.
take your time, enjoy the story and
Yes, you do.
everything. So
Talking about that before I switch over. If you got Hulu or if you got Amazon Prime, uh, HBO is giving for a little bit of this quarantine. They're giving like free HBO. Like you go through HBO Go or HBO Now on the website. I found that you can see all their movies and stuff on Hulu or on Amazon Prime. All their HBO shows and all their movies. So right now,
oh damn.
talking about that stuff. I'm saying if there's an HBO show or an HBO movie or one of those things that you guys haven't seen or watched lately that you've been wanting to, but you don't want to fuck up the money because hell, I don't even want to do that. There's a lot of extras. I'm already paying for other stuff. Right now is the time binge the quarantine it. It's a good time. Binge the shit out of whatever you want to watch. That Game of Thrones shit, whatever the fuck. Just go ahead, go watch it. My kids watch Storks. They watched Littlefoot and whatever that Abominable Snowman fucking movie that just came out. So you just go wild, go ham. I mean, HBO shows. What are you gonna do? They're there. Go watch them.
Yeah.
I recommend it. They're there, and it's free. And if you got nothing else to do, there's some extra stuff to watch, things that you haven't seen. But with that, I haven't seen, and remakes and redones and Final Fantasy VII remake.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kendall, you got the deluxe version. So did I. I pre-ordered mine from Target, but I pre-ordered it kind of later than most people. So you got yours the day it came out, right? Or before that, maybe?
No, I got it the day it came out. My physical edition got delayed a little bit by a day, so I got it slightly late on the day of release.
Mm-hmm.
So like 5-6 p.m. the day of.
Okay, you got it that day. I got it the following Tuesday.
Yep.
That was my delay. I don't know if it's because the pre-orders were still open, so therefore I should have got it on time. I don't know if it's mailing. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it said back order at first, and it all of a sudden said it got shipped. I don't know, but I got it. Now, Kendall, you beat the game, right?
Yep.
Okay. Have you played it more than once?
I've done some of the side stuff. Because after you beat the game, you can just you can jump to like whatever chapter you want to do, and then you can do all the stuff in the chapter. Whatever you missed, or try to find new story elements by making different choices. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
So I've done some of that.
What's your percentage on the game? Like, have you platinum the game yet?
No, haven't platinum the game, and I forgot to check how many of the trophies I've gotten done.
Well, which is cool. I mean, we'll probably swing back on this one later because I am officially in chapter 4. I'm taking my time with it. That dark game took me forever, but I did get to pick Tifa's clothing. I don't want to spoil anything for people. I don't know what that's gonna mean for me later. I just know.
Oh, I know exactly what part it's gonna adjust for you later.
I just know that it asked me. Because I wanted to. I want to try to complete. I guess my theory on doing this game right now is I'm trying to complete as much as I can before I move on to the next chapter. So I made sure that I think it was chapter 3 side quests. I made sure I finished all the side quests before I went to continue on the story.
Yeah.
And so it sent me into this little thing at the house, and then she goes, pick out clothes for me. And I was like, naked, but they don't have that because it's just not like that. So I said, pick whatever. Pick X. I don't want to ruin. I'm probably already ruining a little bit for some people that haven't played it. But I just picked whatever clothing option they gave me, the one that I want to choose. You get 3. I picked one of them. I'm not going to say what it is. And then it's kind of like, we're going to go on a date, and that's how I'm going to dress. And I don't know if I have to dress like that too. I have no clue. Just know that there's something to look forward to in the future. Right after that, you help. What's her name? Jessica? Jess? I forgot what the
Jesse.
Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. I don't know why I thought I was like Toy Story, but yeah, you help her break in right now. That's to some base or something. That's where I'm at right now. I don't know. It seems good. Seems exciting. Beautiful, beautiful game. For having an original PlayStation, I don't even have a PS4 Pro. For just having an original PlayStation, it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. I don't know so much yet if they've changed a lot more than it. Obviously, you know these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you a bunch of fucking questions because that's where I'm at right now. So,
okay.
You played the original Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yep.
Probably plenty of times.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You played this one already and finished it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard there's going to be multiple parts to this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can confirm that by finishing this game, that the game doesn't end, right?
No.
Okay. Is this almost exact same game as before? Like, are there any big changes because they
Yes.
have had to split it? Is it things that you feel
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to? Do you feel you're gonna have the same ending as the other games? I guess is what I'm saying.
No.
As a oh okay, so it looks completely different.
It feels like it. Like for this game,
Uh huh.
a majority of it is faithful to the original. Like I would say, maybe about the first 90% of it.
Okay, that's pretty good for being a
Um,
remake to follow
um,
up.
but more of the changes, from that first 90% that is faithful to the original,
Mm-hmm.
is more along the lines of expanding the story and the characters and stuff like that.
Okay.
But the last 10%,
And this is like towards the finality of this game, is what you're
yeah.
saying? That's where it okay, now completely different, throws you for a loop.
It depends. I swing two ways on this one.
Okay, okay.
As a Final Fantasy VII fan and purist,
Okay,
I
that's what I was gonna
fucking hate
say.
it.
Really?
As a FF fan,
Yeah, as a
like I said,
purist,
as a fan and a purist of the
yes, yes,
original
yes. That's
FF7,
okay. This is what I wanted to get to. Okay,
I
so
fucking hate it.
really, like, oh, I hate it, or is it like, I just kind of dislike it?
No, no, I fucking hate it.
Okay, but
Which kind of sucks because it's like the rest of the game I
it's
have literally zero issues with.
but
I absolutely love it. I
it's the
love
last
the
10%.
changes. I love the changes. I
Mm-hmm.
don't mind the new combat. The new combat's fine. I
Okay.
love, how they expanded on the characters and
Oh,
Avalanche and Jesse
right.
and Biggs and Wedge and
Yeah.
Tifa and Aerith and, the changes in
Right.
there
Right.
and
Right.
going through the slums and helping out the townsfolk and being like a mercenary for everybody instead of
Yeah.
just like in the original game where you just did the two jobs with Avalanche or whatever and that was it. So,
Uh huh.
if I look at it in a way like as if it's its own standalone game,
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Okay. But if you see it as a Final Fantasy VII, the remake, no.
So,
Okay, so the purest side of you doesn't like it. But is
no.
there a part of you that actually likes it for being different?
Yeah, if I just look at it as, just
You
the
say
game itself,
okay,
like as if if I detach it from the original
right?
and everything and
Mm-hmm.
just, it's its own
See this
standalone game.
as Final Fantasy VII Part D on the other side or whatever, or
So,
so you're looking at Final Fantasy VII 1990 whatever when the other game came out, and then you're looking at this as Final Fantasy VII 2020.
if I were to look at it more as like a reboot
Yes. Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying.
than a remake, I'd be
Yes.
fine with it.
So you could see this is a better Final Fantasy VII reboot than Final Fantasy VII remake.
Pretty much.
Okay, because you as a purist were probably expecting the same the expanded storyline of the same game.
Yeah.
So, like you're saying, you want more lore put into it. You want more story. You want more You want more of the stuff that expands the first game more than changing the first game, right? Is that where we're going with it?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, one of the reasons why I'm like so held up on it is
Mm-hmm.
because it's being called a remake and not a reboot, and I feel like it's more of a reboot than it is a remake.
Okay. Is there anything? Are you looking forward though to the next game? Like, do you at least have that?
Kind of, yeah. Basically, I feel like depending on how they do this next game is
Mm,
probably either gonna make or break the whole thing,
really?
in my opinion. Depending on like how, because originally in the original game,
Uh-huh.
at the end of it, that's when you leave Midgar and you go into the open world.
Right.
And that's pretty much where this game finishes. They leave Midgar and go to the open world.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, So, and this next part, the game, this is, they just go out into the open world and everything. They need, so how's the open world traversal going to be like? Because, this one's pretty linear, all
Yeah.
things considered. I mean, the only exploration parts you get is like, so certain chapters where you get to go run around, do all the side quests and everything. But
Yeah.
even then, it's like, it's a small area, like,
True. It's just a little town.
and
At
everything.
least where
So,
I'm at right now, you're like that chapter 3. You were just in that little town. It was literally go over here, walk around for a little bit in this like scrapyard, and then walk around this other little area where they've got some other stuff, and then you just walk around the town, and then that's where all your quests were, all of them, within this
yeah.
little kind of like circle of a place. Never really left anywhere there. Obviously, right now in chapter 4, I left back to the top, but still, I don't
Yeah.
want to spoil any stuff, but I'm just saying it seems like yes, some of the chapters are contained in just a small area. It's not like I'm walking through the fields like it's Breath of the Wild and shit.
Yeah. So now it's supposed to go into open world,
Mm-hmm.
from after that point from where the game ends.
Yeah.
Now, how they do it or how they decide they want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, just pretty much how they do this next game is how
Now you're gonna see where you fall down.
pretty much because, with the way they ended it,
Mm-hmm.
now they have to put in like a lot of work
To bring it
to
back.
like not bring back, but keep things interesting, to keep improving
This
upon
okay.
the stuff that they've already done.
Right. Now, if they do hit this next one out of the ballpark, you think you'll be okay with the way it ended now?
I mean, as long as everything lines up and it works and it makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay, here's my thing, right? So when you play a game, right,
Mm-hmm.
you you play the game, you level up, you get to a certain level, and you're strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is there a level cap in this game?
Don't know. I haven't hit it yet, but I'm like 40 something.
Okay, here's my thing. If there's no level cap, right? Does that mean that in the next game when we hit it, if I reached, I don't know, level 99, let's just say in this game, when it's Final Fantasy VII remake part 2, am I gonna be Cloud level 99 or am I gonna be Cloud level 1 again?
See, and that's another thing that they have to consider or whatever, because it's like, how are they going to, since they're splitting up the parts,
Right.
is the save data going to transfer over with all the choices and, all the
What
stuff
about
you
all my
did
summons, all
with
my
all your
materia?
equipment, your
Yeah.
materia, your accessories, your weapon levels, and everything like that? Or is it going to be like, hey,
Like Kingdom
depending on how
Hearts?
much you did in the first one, you'll get like these bonus start items to help,
Start you off on the second one and
make
then.
start you off on the second one. So it all depends. Like, how are they going to
Well,
do it?
that's
Is
what
it
I was
just
gonna
going to
say.
be
Is
a
it gonna
one to
be.
one, or is it going to be like, okay, you've done this much on this game, so
Yeah.
you're going to get this and this and this and this for this game?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is it's gonna be like one of those Kingdom Hearts games where you're like, oh, Sora, you lost your memories, so you don't remember how to fight anymore, and you're back to square one. Let's
Yeah, pretty
start
much.
over. That's the one thing that I'm wondering. I'm like, so what happens to you, all your characters that your teammates that were with you, all the items, all the money that you spent, all the material that you went to go collect, all the summons that you got, all the extra moves, yada yada yada, all this stuff. Like, what do what ends up happening? Are you gonna? How do they explain it? If they're gonna make you level 1 again, or level 7, or whatever level they want to put, how do they explain you going back down, having to start over, when it seems like it's gonna be one linear game, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. That's another thing we're just going to have to wait and
See what.
wait till they give us more info on.
Now, have they ever talked about how long they're gonna be before the next game? Like, how long are they gonna push this, or is this gonna be one of those Kingdom Hearts that we won't see for another 10 years?
Well, they're already apparently supposedly working on part two. So
Okay.
that one's a given, and it's not going to be like another 5 year dev cycle like it was for the remake.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it's only going to be like another 1 to 2, so maybe
Oh,
2021, 2022.
you think PS5?
Maybe.
PS4 too, or what?
Nah, probably PS5 at this point.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy to think. You know, I just get worried because I remember playing the Kingdom Hearts 1 and then playing Kingdom Hearts 2, and then I grew up, had kids, and then I played Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I know there've been there have been smaller titles, but there's only been like three main titles for the Kingdom Hearts series. And at this point, I played Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm like, so where's Kingdom Hearts 4? How long am I waiting for Kingdom Hearts 4? 5, 6, 7 years? 10 years?
Uh,
I'm going to pass away before the series ends.
Probably.
You know, and I'm not saying that I'm going to pass away before Sora's ending comes. Like,
Well, technically, Sora's ending did come.
I guess, but you know what I mean. He's not gone. They're gonna bring him back. I really expected this to be. I expected this to be the end of their story, and then Kingdom Hearts 4 would be like a brand new one. And then
Yeah.
I played the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm like, here we go, Sora. But I hate it. I love the games. But that's one of these things that I'm wondering with this. Is this going to be one of those long ass, like we won't ever finish Final Fantasy 7 for, I don't know, whatever. But if they are going to the 1 or 2 years, that's pretty exciting. That maybe we'll be able to see the second part sooner than later.
Well, hopefully. I mean, Nomura is the one in charge of it, and he was the one in charge of Kingdom Hearts. And
now I did hear some of the stuff that went on with Kingdom Hearts, that they went to a different engine, and they had people working on it, and things went south, and they had to start over. I mean, there was a lot that seemed to play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep, the same thing happened with FF7.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully all those kinks and all that stuff's out of the way, and maybe they can just move on faster.
Hopefully.
I know they did come out with DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 fast.
Yeah, and that wasn't worth it either.
I haven't played it. Did you play it?
Yeah.
What? It wasn't worth it?
Nope.
Fuck. I still want to play it.
I mean, all it is literally boss rush.
What? And I'm going to pay $30 for that?
You remember how Kingdom Hearts 2 had like all the hard mode nobody bosses?
Yeah.
This is the same thing.
So I'm going to pay like $30 to play that?
Yep.
Is there at least more lore?
Sort of.
Oh, fuck. I don't know what to think now. Well, there goes that. There goes me playing.
I mean, honestly, I would say just go to YouTube and watch the videos there instead of spending $30 because, save the $30.
Maybe I'll buy it when it's like $10 or something.
I would say wait until it's like $5.
Greatest hits?
Pretty much, right?
Shit. All right. Well, I mean, there's that. Well, at least
the story this far once retold DLC Super Pack Greatest Hits Ultra Collection.
Yeah, where it's like $10.
Where it's like $5 and includes every Kingdom Hearts game ever came out ever, including the mobile game.
Fuck. Shit. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to wait a long time then. But what you don't have to wait for before we come and wrap up everything. There's that Butterfingers and Crunch and Baby Ruth or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have to buy 2 candy bars. All right, listen here clearly. You got to buy 2 candy bars on 1 receipt. You email them the receipt, and then they'll send you things, right, Kendall?
Yep.
You've already done this once, right?
I did. I've done it once so far, and it's given me the
Tifa. You said the Tifa.
Tifa FF7 dynamic theme.
Yeah.
And the first bangle. Now I'm still waiting on the code for the bangle.
Yeah. Oh, they said check your spam sometimes, just to make sure that they didn't get sent there. I've heard from some people. They say that check your check your spam folder just in case they dropped it off there. But yeah, and then there's like 5 items that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you gotta buy 10 candy bars, but it has to be in 5 transactions. So that way you can send them.
It has to be 5 different transactions. Yeah. You can only upload 1 receipt a day.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's basically you have to do that 5 times. So that's 5 different receipts.
Yes. you can get it. So do it. If you're a completionist, do it because why not get bangles? And don't you also get materia later or summons, or you get
Nope.
something? No.
It's just the dynamic theme and like 5 different bangles.
Oh, okay. Well, but still, just to get stuff to help you out in the game. Why not? I'm shopping tomorrow because I have to pick up some
Yeah.
stuff. So I will be doing those transactions. Probably going to self checkout, so I can do those transactions really quickly and then get out of there in a healthy and safe manner, and then upload them once a day for the next 5 days, so I can get all the bangles.
Yep.
But with that, we'll bring in my report of Final Fantasy VII when I play it, and I finish it hopefully next week maybe. But with that, Kendall, is there anything else that you want to drop? Any knowledge bombs on this podcast?
Nope. That's about it for me this week.
Yeah, that's about it for me this week. We'll be bringing you more news and more tech and more things next week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on Twitch at Los Muchachos Media. Look us up there like that. You can follow us on YouTube at Los Muchachos Media. We re-upload this there. We also you can find us on Anchor. You can find us on Anchor, iTunes, Google Podcasts, I believe Spotify, and whatever app you use to listen to us. You can find this podcast as the N Chipz podcast. There. So far, there should be 4 episodes up. This will be the 5th one going up right now for us. But thank you for listening to us. We've been Los Muchachos with the Disc and Chips podcast. Oh yeah, look us up on Instagram at Los Muchachos Media too, right there, right? And then it's Twitter at Los Muchachos Inc. We'll put this up later. You'll be able to find it. Hopefully pretty soon we'll have links up on Twitch and all the other stuff so you can find us. But I've been Fred.
And I'm Kendall.
And we'll see you guys next time. Later.
All right. Later.
All right.